I'm going to take you on a culinary journey today and whet your appetite. So the burning question is, can 3D printing food make us smarter, healthier, and change the world? We'll come back to that question. How many of you love food? Raise your hand. Well, that's everyone, so Julia Child is right. I hear people say, can you really 3D printing food? Is it real? So here's a cake that we printed for Martha Stewart. And this is a quail egg with beef tartare, and the quail egg is 3D printed. So one of the questions that I always get asked is, how does it work? Let me show you a video of 3D printers. So 3D printing food requires three major components. The dry material, which is any powder, wet material that can be water-based, oil-based, or liquor-based, they are binding agent, and then temperature. With 3D printer, you can actually apply temperature at every pixel level. So I want you to have this mental image of a 3D printer in your kitchen. And the best chef in the world can create recipes, and you can download it into your 3D printer. And someone can cook for you remotely. Or maybe you're in your office and your children can print and get meal ready before you get home. Here's a lab with some 3D printers. The black machine are food printers. This golden one is a chocolate printer. We placed them at Hershey Labs and brought some children there and asked them to create chocolate for themselves. And you can see at the lower right corner are the chocolate created by children themselves, or they downloaded 3D models from internet and then sent them into the chocolate printer. Beautiful, right? I saw this quote. It says, I won't be impressed with technology unless I can download food. And I can't agree with it more. And I believe the first massively distributed 3D printer will be a kitchen appliance in your kitchen, not really the maker's machine. So let's look at some food that can be downloaded. Here is a savory, sour, sweet bird nest for your cocktail. Now you can download a model from internet and send it to your 3D printer. This is a French onion soup that 2 Michelin star chefs said it's the best she has ever tasted. The quail egg I showed you earlier got cracked open. It actually has egg yolk in there. How does that happen? Because you can actually print the food. The 3D printer prints the food layer by layer. And then you can stop the printer in the middle and put the yolk inside and continue to print. Passion fruit dessert that you can crack open and find some surprises inside. So when you take people on a journey, there needs to be a surprise. And we were giving this challenge to surprise the world's best chef, Fran Adrian from Barcelona. And we collaborated this project with Modernist Cuisine. If you have not heard about them, you can look online. It's literally the art and science of cooking. And it's started by the former Microsoft CTO, Nathan Noble. So how do you surprise the world's best chef? Like, we need to make some dishes that he could not even make. Not only we made this dinner customized to him, but we also customized to the cultural context. we went to Barcelona and scanned Gaudi architecture. So the ceramics that we used are in the Gaudi architecture shape and form. So here's a video, and let's enjoy this meal together. Now imagine that when they create this wonderful meal, that they can distribute this to millions of 3D printers in your kitchen. And you can all enjoy such a meal, just like how musicians can distribute music and authors can print their books. And you kind of have to guess what is 3D printed and what is not. I think it's easy to see what is not, and the rest of them are 3D printed. Yummy, right? So 3D printer is an Internet of Things, so it's connected to Internet. And you can be as creative as you want, and you can also collaborate with other people, architect, scientist, artist, children, anyone you can imagine. So in the future, if we have 3D printer in our kitchen, then cooking can be widely imaginative. Now the second point I want to make is about wellness and health. I imagine in the smart home in the future, everything can be measured, our health can be measured. So you actually control what you put in your stomach. Say your doorknob is a measurement, or even your steering wheel in your car is a measurement. We actually know your health not only in genetic terms, we could even know your health every day. So you can upload that health data into your 3D printer also, and it will control what ingredients it will put into making those dishes for you. If you have hypertension, it would not, it will put less salt. If you have diabetes, it would put less sugar, so on and so forth. So the printer, as a kitchen appliance in your kitchen, is knowingly healthy. And it can also be joyfully collaborative, because me and my friends, I can cook for him or her, and they can cook for me. Or I can cook for my family that they couldn't make it to my house. So that could be very interesting social dynamics also. I like to also take it up to a bigger social context, which is, can 3D printer or 3D printing food change the world? Can we relook at the entire food chain and to see how does this technology can help us to solve hunger problems, to make life more joyful? So one of the data that I'm putting here is 24% of all food we produce are not consumed. In the United States, that on average, the family wastes about $1,600 on food. Moreover, 7 trillion cubic foot of water is used for the food that we're wasting. Now, if you look at another data, in 10 years, China, India, and Africa will consume 50% of world calorie. And we don't have that much food production today to support such a population growth. Now there are a lot of movement and saying, okay, there are one part of the world have too much food, they have obesity, another part of the world they don't have enough food, they're in poverty. But the initiative to make rich people to be concerned about the poor people isn't quite working. So we need to systematically solve those problems. So one of the issues that we can deal with food waste, which in terms of solving the hunger problem, is to turning the fresh food or wasted food into nutritious ingredients that we can use by 3D printers. So here's an industrial machine that you can put in the organic farm that can dehydrate any food and vegetables into dry material. Remember I said the 3D printer takes dry material. Any food can be turned into powder. And if you do that and vacuum seal it, you don't even need put preservatives in there. It will solve the cold chain shipping distribution issue. It takes a lot less to send food like this to different parts of the world. And we don't want this. Now, when you think about powders, they already exist. No one wants to just put in water and stir it and have the mush food that doesn't taste like anything. Yeah, there are some programmers that they can live on proteins, but I don't buy that. So what if you can take that dry material and wet material, any taste, also the color are all organic color. We used to say vegetable dye, now we use chemicals. But the food has all the color we want, all the creativity we can make. And chefs can create really beautiful food and disseminate it to every household that has a 3D printer. Then you also can think about other type of food, like elderlies and youth, babies, the people who could not cook. What if we can make food like this for elderlies who doesn't quite have teeth anymore? Or very healthy food like this where baby can swallow. What about school food? What about food in space? So all of this can be done by taking the food supply and turning the food waste into nutritious, non-perishable nutrition, and then send it into 3D printers, collaboratively work with designers, chefs, anyone who loves food, loves the cooking, or even if you don't love to cook, you could create beautiful meal, healthy meal at home or for your friends, for your family, by leveraging this technology. I think this is really very big change for the food industry. It is quantum leap in terms of what we can do by changing the entire food chain from where the food is cultivated, how it is produced, how it is preserved, how do we ship it, distribute it, and how it arrives at our home, and combine it with knowledge of health, maybe also knowledge of where people are starving that needs food, because dry food can be shipped very quickly to either disaster regions or regions where people are malnutrition, and then have a way to create really beautiful, enjoyable meal that we can all share together. Now,